Hello, 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 friends. So today I am absolutely having to rely really heavily on some of these tips that I'm dropping for you today because, y'all, I'm tired. I don't know about you, but it's been a long week at the end of a long month, at the end of a long year, and it's only May. And I know some of y'all are feeling that out here too, but we small business owners, we got to keep on keeping on doing the stuff that is going to help grow our business, reach more people, and use our gifts for the kingdom of God. So today, I'm going to break down several tips for you on how to create content, high quality content with speed. And no, not the speed, not speed like the drug. Come on. No, not that. How to create high quality content quickly that does not rely on AI, because no, friends, AI centered, AI only content is not going to give you the quality content that you need to drive quality leads to your business. So today we're chatting quality and speed in your content creation, and I'm going to give you some kick booty hacks because it's real life. I be using these all the time, and I use them for my work and client work, and trust me when I tell you, they save so much time. So today's a pen and paper episode. So bust out your pen and paper or your notes app or even your voice app if you're driving, because I want you to actually be able to take these, write them down, and then get yourself some action items for these tips to help you create content quicker and make sure that it's high quality content for your content marketing in your business. How many times can I say content this episode? We're going to see. All right, let's go. Hey there, fellow entrepreneur. Welcome to Simple SEO and Marketing. Do you want to grow your business with sustainable traffic sources? Have you heard about the power of search engine optimization and you want to take advantage of it to get more traffic, more eyeballs on your business? But when it comes down to it, does SEO feel complicated and hard to implement? Are you tired of wondering what in the heck to do with your website to get more traffic and more leads knocking on your door? What if I could tell you that there was a simple, proven system for using SEO, blogging, and copywriting to get leads from your website, and not just any leads, high converting leads. Hey, I'm Faith Hannon, wife, mama, copywriter, SEO strategist, and barrel racer. And for the last 8 years, I've been figuring out what works and what doesn't work in the world of online marketing to get organic traffic. And now I'm here to share all the things I'm learning in the trenches of SEO, copywriting, and content marketing. How does 300%, 500%, or even 12,000% more traffic in a year sound? What could your business do with that kind of traffic increase? How many more people could you help? So listen in and prepare to take notes. I'm about to drop simple, actionable SEO marketing and copywriting tips, all with a heavy dose of Jesus-loving encouragement. Let's get you more traffic and more leads so you can help more people with your God-given gifts. So last night we celebrated a birthday. All day yesterday we celebrated a birthday in my family because I'm a homeschool mom. I get to work from home with my kids. So when we have a birthday that day, y'all, we have a birthday that day. And it's so fun. I'm so blessed. And like, I truly don't take that for granted. But I was looking around my kitchen last night and I was like, it looks like a bomb went off in here. Just a straight bomb. And I was thinking about all the things that I cooked that day. And I was like, oh, well, yep, you made pancakes in the morning. You made lunch. You made like 3 things for supper. My husband did. And then you made dessert. Like, yes, Faith, it looks like a bomb went off in your house. And my husband and I were joking. And I was like, how do normal people do this? They must not be cooking this much. They must not be cooking. Like, this is why we don't cook 2 sides and a main dish and dessert for every supper, because we don't do that. And he looked at me, he's like, Faith, most people don't cook this much. And I was like, oh, most people probably don't cook at home that much. But the fact is, we're doing stuff. And we have goals. We are kicking butt and taking names on those goals, but it takes a lot of work. And I'm going to guess that you are really similar because you are trying to grow a business. You are trying to literally make something out of nothing. And one, I'm here to applaud you. Like, big high five. Picture me jumping in the air, high-fiving you, because you are bold enough to step out, do the dang thing, make a business, market it, put yourself out there, and bring value to the market with something that you're good at. And I know sometimes that can feel extremely exhausting. And I'm here to say it's okay. So here are some tried and true tips to create really great content without having to be a slave to your computer or your phone. Okay, so today I'm going to give you 4 tips, and we're going to spend the vast majority of our time on the 4th tip. But the 4th tip doesn't work very well if you don't do the other 3 tips. So you'll understand as we get into it. And the next episode, I'm going to dig into another and very important tip that goes along with all this, but it deserves its own episode. Okay. So here's how you're going to create high quality content quickly, because quality is important, especially in the the overly saturated AI content, that a lot of the content that is AI only / most of it is just complete and total crap content. Like, it's not helping anybody. It's not ranking on SEO. It's not doing anything for your business or for your ideal client. So please know, we don't use AI exclusively. We do use AI as an assistant, but ain't nobody over here just being like, Chatty, write a blog, and expecting anything quality, because it's not going to be quality. So tip number 1 is I need you to have a master content list if you don't already. And this master content list needs to be digitally accessible. Now, I am a pen to paper girl sometimes. Like, my brain I just need to actually physically write things down. If you haven't read Austin Kleon's book called Steal Like an Artist, he breaks that down. Love that book. Highly recommend. Easy read. Get it. But in that book, he talks about how our brains just work differently when we do things analog. And as much as I wish that I could just do everything digitally because it is so much more efficient, I have found that I am more creative, my ideas flow better, and I work better when I write things out. But, you have to take those ideas and put them on a master content list. Now, I keep my master content list for myself and for all of my clients, like individually in different Google Docs in their individual folders, all organized and pretty, because I need those lists to be accessible wherever I am. I need that list to be accessible on my phone. I need those lists to be accessible when I sit down to create content. And it's not if I write it on a piece of paper and it gets lost somewhere in my house. So you have to keep a master content list. Now, sometimes when we sit down to write out a master content list, we over edit ourselves. Like, this is not the place to judge yourself when you're coming up with content ideas. This is the place to just write it down and get it out. Now, a lot of people would say, just use Chatty or just use AI to come up with content ideas. But I'm going to tell you right now, I have tried and I've tried to use AI to come up with content ideas. And I've tried all the different angles, all the different prompts. Like, I'm pretty savvy with telling Chatty what to do. Like, real savvy. But it does not come up with as good of ideas as I do. It's not going to come up with as good of ideas as you do. Now, if you were just like, your brain is dead in the water and you're like a zombie staring at a screen and you cannot come up with any content ideas. Well, one, I would tell you to get up and move around and drink some water. Maybe go for a walk outside, okay? 2, if that doesn't work, yes, maybe you can use Chatty to help come up with some ideas. But you're going to need to heavily edit that, because your understanding of your clients, your ideal client, is still going to be better than Chatty. So I am a huge proponent of the person, the human, coming up with the content ideas, because you understand your person and you understand how to serve them and what's going to connect with a human from a human level. Okay. So rule number 1, I'm going to make this a rule, is you need a master content list. Are you only ever going to pull from this list? No, but this is a backup for when your brain is dead. No worky, done, need a nap, but you have to work. Your master content list is your floaty in the water, okay? Number 2, you have to have a repeatable system. You have to have a repeatable system. Now, if you are somebody like me that you tend to be more on the artist side of things than the ducks in a row, every I dotted, T crossed when it comes to being creative. Like I'm definitely more on the artist side of things, but I can't draw. I feel like y'all know the difference between an artist that paints and like an artist brain. I love to create. I enjoy the process of creating. I don't always enjoy the process of checklists. Okay. But you have to have a repeatable system for your content creation, or you're going to be wasting so much time. So much time. Y'all, little baby blogger Faith used to take 6 to 8 hours, like 6, 7, or 8 hours to write and publish one blog. And the writing part wasn't hard for me because I've always been a writer. I've always been a communicator. It's super easy for me. But the actual process of creating that specific type of content and uploading and marketing that piece of content was taking me 6 to 8 hours. I now have it down to under 2 hours for a podcast and a blog. So when I tell you that I know how to create content quickly, please listen, because I do. And I'm in some masterminds. I've been in several groups of people, and they frequently say that, and I've had students before they come through my program, I've heard so many people say that creating one blog takes anywhere between 4 to 10 hours. And y'all, we can't do that. Ain't nobody got that kind of time. We need to speed things up. And this is how you're going to do it. Okay. Number 1, a master content list. Number 2, you're going to have repeatable systems. Number 3 is we're going to use AI strategically. Please hear that. Strategically. This is not a turn AI loose kind of situation. This is you give AI very, very specific jobs with a very specific voice, and you tell it what to do. For example, I've created a custom GPT that will turn a podcast into an SEO-friendly blog. You can grab that in the show notes. It's a steal of a deal. But what you do then is you're giving AI, you're giving Chatty your transcript, and you're saying, this is my keyword, and this custom GPT already knows how to write an SEO-friendly blog. I've programmed it to do that. So then what you're doing is you're coming up with the idea. You're creating the podcast or the YouTube or whatever, audio content you're creating. And then you're using AI to repurpose it very strategically. Okay. So then if you're using AI strategically, then AI is taking something that you've already come up with, and it's maybe repurposing it, or it's maybe putting a different spin on it, or it's maybe giving you different caption ideas or different title ideas. Okay. Which BT dubs, Chatty's titles are not as good as the headline analyzer by CoSchedule. Those are much better. But anyway, so number 3 is you're going to use AI strategically. Okay. I don't have any interest in working harder at something than I have to. Okay. We want to work smarter, not harder. But sometimes in some parts of the creation process, AI actually does make it harder. And so that's why you need to use it very strategically. Now, one of the tools that I've created to do that is my audio to SEO custom GPT. You can grab that in the show notes. It's a steal of a deal. But what that's going to do is it's going to help you have one piece of content that you're working really hard on, your blog, your podcast, or your YouTube, and you're going to take the transcript from that and you're going to make it work for you in more than one place. Okay. So number 4 is where I want to spend the most time. And that is batch working. Tip number 4 to create high quality content very quickly is batch working. Now, I've created other episodes strictly on batch working, but I feel like it's something that it's worth talking about again, because again, I've been in groups. I've had people say like, it takes me so long to do this. This is so hard for me. All this content takes so long. And here is a huge part of the solution to that. And it's batch working. And so what does that look like on a really practical level? Typically, I break batch working down into 4 segments, sometimes 3, depending on how much brain power I have. So step number 1 to any kind of batch working regarding my content for me and when I'm doing client work is always this: planning. I want to plan out my content, plan out the ideas, the topic ideas for each piece of long form content. So if y'all are new around here, I take long form content and we repurpose it into short form content if needed for that client's marketing. But we're thinking big picture first and then breaking it down into little. So big picture, step one is planning. We'll plan out the content ideas all at once. And so I'll sit down and I'll plan out 4, 5, 6, 10 blog topics that I know meet the ideal client avatar where they're at. They're going to move things forward in the business. They're driven to sell. They're going to be something that we can create really systematically, that we can speak to and have EEAT on. These are topics that I know we can create blogs for. I know we have expertise on. I know we have something valuable to say. And I know, because I've done my keyword research, like in big chunks, I know that we can find keywords that fit the client or us and our current SEO strategy. Okay. So I'm planning. All of that is part of the planning batching for me. And like I said, I'll come up with 4, 5, 10, sometimes even 20 topics and plan out that many blogs in advance or that many podcasts in advance. Okay. Haven't quite gotten there on my YouTube, but we'll get there. So batch number 1 is planning. Okay. Now, number 2 is sometimes integrated into number 1. And this is why. Number 2 is outlining. Because when I'm coming up with ideas, when my brain juices are flowing on topics, I usually have things to say about that topic that I want to capture immediately. So, for example, if I'm coming up with a blog topic, if I have a blog topic on how to do a website overhaul on a budget, well, I already have things in my brain that you could do for a website overhaul on a budget. And when I'm coming up with that topic, when I have that idea pop into my head, I don't want to be looking up in 6 months and be like, oh, snap, what was I going to say about that? And have to rethink it. So sometimes during the planning, I'm also outlining, and it's very simple. So I'd be like, website overhaul on a budget, and I'd be like, boom, 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 and just like bullet point 10 ideas that come to mind right there. Now, all 10 of those ideas may not make it into that, but at least they're out of my brain and onto paper, and I don't have to revisit that topic and rethink about all of the ideas that I had when I came up with that topic, okay? So step number 1 in batch planning is, right? Remember, it's planning. Okay. Step number 2 in batch working is outlining. Okay. Step number 3 in my batching is actually writing the dang thing. And because I have my topics planned out, I've got things outlined. When I sit down to write, either the fully flesh out the outline for that podcast or fully write the blog, I can write a blog in less than 30 minutes. We're talking intro, body paragraphs, conclusion, sometimes 2,000 to 3,000 words. Like I can write that myself in 30 to 45 minutes because all of the groundwork is laid. I'm not having to reinvent the wheel, and I'm not having to really make sure that this is a good fit for the business and for the client because I already have all of that work done. So then I just sit and I write. Okay. And when I sit and write rough drafts for blogs, I knock those bad boys out because all of the groundwork is laid. So batch 1 is planning, batch 2 is outlining, batch 3 is actually writing it. Or like oftentimes when I'm doing a podcast, I'll write and record in the same time frame, like the same batch time. So it's the creation, but not always. When I'm doing podcasts, it just depends on the environment. If my kids are entertained, like I don't always sit and record at the same time. So then the next batch group is proofreading or the final thing. And like I said, with podcasting and blogging, they're sometimes a little bit different. But overall, now I always pay somebody to edit my client blogs because y'all are paying me to write for you. Like somebody needs to proofread that. So I have to get those back and we do a little bit of back and forth in our process, but we're always getting stuff edited and proofread. At least my client stuff. My stuff doesn't always get proofread, but it's fine. And then the next batch of things is uploading and optimizing, because once you get into your website editor and you're uploading and you're optimizing and you're making sure that everything is SEO friendly and you're running through your SEO checklist, it's easier to just pop in there and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever is on your docket for the day done in one fell swoop. And then you're already in that brain mode. You're already in that mentality. And then the next batch of things that I like to do is sometimes integrated with the uploading and optimizing, or, final draft, depending on where I'm at, how much time I have. But the next batch of things I like to do is repurposing. So blogs will get repurposed to good email teasers or Instagram posts if it's for a client, or LinkedIn posts, or like whatever that is, it's getting repurposed. And then we know that those things, those ideas that we're communicating are already great, fully fleshed out. They support the business, the client approves of them. And we know that they're actually, those ideas are written to reach the right people at the right place. And so we're not having to reinvent all of those things. Yes, there's going to be little idiosyncrasies that, need changed depending on the platform, right? But the bulk of the work is already done. And so to repurpose it on a different platform is so much easier. And y'all know we're big fans of long form content and evergreen content here. So we're obviously putting most of our brain power and effort, as we should and as you should, into long form content. But I'm not saying social media is the complete and utter devil. I'm just saying that shouldn't be your main focus. So that's what our batches look like. And I know batch working can feel really overwhelming, because I've been really overwhelmed by it, but I promise you, when you actually get into doing it, you're going to look up and be like, oh my gosh, Faith, this is so much better, because you're going to be able to get in that flow state, people call it. I don't know, but you're going to be able to get into that locked in, zoned in place where you can just really do the thing and do it well. So let me know if this is something that you try and how you like it. Shoot me an email over at info@faithhannon.com and tell me if these tips help you create higher quality content faster. In the next episode, we're digging into one that takes this up a whole nother level for the girls. So excited to teach you that episode and tell you all the things that have worked in my business using this method. So excited to chat with you next time. Love y'all. Bye. Thank you so much for listening in today. Hopefully this episode gave you some really tangible tips for better SEO and marketing to get more leads and more sales from your website. If it did, can I ask you a quick favor? Would you please share this episode with a friend, and then just take 10 seconds and go leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. That is the very best way to help more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs scale their businesses so that they can help more people with their gifts and make an even bigger impact for the kingdom of God. And guess what? We now have a Facebook community where we can learn, hang out, and laugh. Go join the Facebook group now. It's linked in the show notes. And all the other things, courses, coaching, and copywriting, can be found at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.